The other day, I was looking for some form of IT documentation that I could host on my own server and found BookStack. BookStack is a simple, self-hosted, easy-to-use platform for organizing and storing information. It is feature-rich and it is free, so I thought I'd share it with you. In today's video, I show you how to set up and use BookStack. Let's start with a demo on BookStack and see how it works. If you go to bookstackapp.com and scroll to the bottom, you'll find there's a demo instance there that you can log in and play with, and that's what I'm going to show you. But before I do that, let's go over a few features first. And as you can see here, it's free and open source. It's a simple, easy-to-use interface. And it says here, the content in BookStack is fully searchable. You are able to search at any book level or across all books, chapters, and pages. The ability to link directly to any paragraph allows you to keep your documentation connected. And that's a really nice feature. It's configurable. There's simple requirements, just some PHP and MySQL. Has built-in diagrams.net support, which is fantastic. Multilingual, optional markdown editor, integrated authentication. Another nice thing under the power features is that it's got page revisions. So if something's changed and you want to revert back to it, it's got that option. Multi-factor authentication is huge nowadays. It's nice to be able to lock it down. And you can choose light or dark mode. All right, scrolling to the bottom, we've got the demo site login. It's demo.bookstackapp.com. It says the admin email is admin@example.com and the password is password. So let's go over to the demo site now. All right, so here we are in the demo site. The main page here just shows you the recent drafts, my recently viewed articles, the most viewed favorites, recently updated pages, and recent activity. Let's jump over to a bookshelf and see what it has. Top right, we'll go to shelves. And you'll see here it's got demo content, internal documents, and then new starter relevant. Let's take a quick look at internal departments. Inside this shelf, you'll find different books. One of them is ID department. Let's check that out. Go into it, and here you'll find the different pages that it contains. This section up here under service systems, this right here is a chapter, and that chapter has 3 different pages inside of it. Member onboarding guide, IT holiday party, and server outage plan are all individual pages. Let's go into the server systems chapter. In there you'll see that it contains another 3 pages. We can click onto each page and view the contents of that page. Here you've got the title of the page, some system details, some bullet points there, a call-out box, and an actual image. On the left-hand side, you can see where we're at within the tree. And across the top are breadcrumbs, or the places that we've been. Going up to one of these breadcrumbs, if you click on the arrow, it'll show you the stuff that's contained within that item. We're currently in the server systems chapter, so if you click onto the arrow there, you'll see the articles that are contained within that, and we can just jump to another one right from there. If we wanted to go back to the main book, we could do the same thing, click on the IT document book, and find a different article to click on. Let's look at the IT holiday party. In the top right, we can go up to shelves and go back to the beginning, or we can look at the individual books as well. So let's go to books. Here it shows you all the books that are available. And let's say you just want to jump right to the book that you're looking for. You can just use the search function. You know what it's titled, so you can just type that in the top there. We know it's a production machine, so let's type in the beginning of that. And you'll see that it narrows down the items. I was looking for Stonehawk, so let's click on that one. And there we go. Let's take a look at the edit features and see what's available. On the right, you can click on edit. You can go in here and change any information you'd like. So let's say the IP address has changed. It is now .10. We can save that information. The attached disk size, we've upgraded it. It's 100 gig now. And we upgraded the server CPU as well. So let's say it's got 2 virtual CPUs. You hit save, and there it shows that information has now been recorded. If we go back in there and edit again, let's say you went to type in something here and you deleted the whole line and then you forgot what was there and you need to get that back. You can go up to the top and under draft saving, drop down and do discard draft. It comes right back. Let's say you want to edit the changelog so you know what was changed here. You can click on set changelog and you give a brief description of what you've changed. We'll just say updated IP address and disk size and hit save page. Let's go back to the shelves. Top right, click on shelves. Let's say we want to start a new shelf here. We can go new shelf. We'll give it a name and we'll call this, let's call it IT documentation. And we'll do a brief description below. All the documentation for the IT department. And then if you've already got pre-existing books you want to add to that, you just find them over on the right-hand side and click the little plus next to it. So we're going to go with adding the IT department, and let's add marketing department as well. Down below under cover image, you can select a different image to put in there. So you hit select image, then you just browse to the image that you want, you hit open, and it adds it to it. And then below that, you've got shelf tags. You can also tag the items. And I think in here there's some already defined, so let's go with category and value of, let's go internal. Then we can hit save shelf. And there's our new shelf with the 2 books that we added to it. Going back to shelves, you'll see that it's listed there. We'll go back into that one. Let's add a new book to the shelf. So on the right, click on new book. And under name, we're going to call this IT systems. And description, we'll just do a brief description here. Systems for the IT department. Once again, you can add a cover, you can tag it, you can also apply templates to it. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll click on default template. we'll select a template. There's one template in this demo server, so we'll click that and we'll hit select. Then you hit save book. Now, if we go back to our bookshelf, you'll see that book has been added to it. Let's add a page to that book. So under IT systems, we're going to create a new page, and you'll see here the template's been applied. Otherwise, it'd be just a normal blank page. Let's call this email system. And I'm just going to make some stuff up here. So location, say server. Time, let's say 2 a.m. And event details, let's call this server reboot. All right, now we need to type out some more information, so let's add some more details to this. In the top formatting bar here, you've got undo and redo. You got different heading styles, so right now it's on paragraph. You can drop down, you can do a large header. Let's call this demo. And let's do medium header next, and then let's do small and tiny. I'll save this real quick. Let's save page. Now if you look at the navigation on the left-hand side, you'll see that the headings are listed under page navigation. So there's our large, our medium, our small, and our tiny. You click on them and it takes you right to that item. All right, let's go back in and edit some more. So we're back on paragraph here, and this is just normal text. So let's say some text here, some more text, and so on and so forth. Got a larger document, you need to quote some information. You can just highlight that information, go up to the paragraph option, and go down to block quote. You'll see it pulls it out and puts it into a block quote. Bookshelf also does some callouts, so let's put a callout on the server reboot. Drop down, we can do callouts. Is this information, success, warning, or a danger thing? I'm going to say this is just information. So there you go. Let's say the 2 a.m. is a warning, and we want this to be danger. Then next to that, you've got the normal formatting options: bold, italic, underline, text color, highlighting. You've got strike through, some superscript, subscript, inline code, and you can clear the formatting. We've got some alignment options: left, right, centered, that kind of stuff. Bullet points, numbered lists, there's check marks under here. You can increase and decrease the indents. It's got the ability to insert links, tables, pictures. So let's throw a link in here. Let's say the server here, we are going to call it a link to another document. We're going to say that is the Sparkle Jet here. We'll hit select, and then we'll hit save. Now you see it's got a hyperlink to it. So when this document is live, you can click on that and it'll take you to that article. Let's insert a picture here. Click on the picture icon, and let's say it's a picture of this Dell server. Under demo, let's add in a video link. You can do a general link. Let me grab one of mine. So grab your link, you paste it in, it'll set the height and width, you hit save, and you'll see it adds the video right in line. So let's embed the link below this so people know where they're actually going. If you go back up to the three dots, go to the video option, we'll change it to embed, paste in the code, and hit save. And there it shows you the link for it. Scroll down a little bit, let's add a table down here. Let's say we need it, 4 cells wide and 3 deep. There you go. Stuff goes here. Let's change this wording for medium and let's call it diagram. Then we'll go to the three dots and we will click on insert edit drawing. And you'll see that it's integrated with the diagrams.io website, so we can put in anything we'd like here. Let's look for, let's call it a rack. And let's say this one. Yep, that looks good. We'll do that. Let's call out, throw a cylinder in here. What else do we got? Advanced options. Let's do a little vertical tree layout. We'll put an arrow in here. We'll go from the server rack to the cylinder, and we'll do another one. Let's do a double bidirectional one. And we will go here and cylinder to the vertical tree layout. Then you hit save and it drops that right into your book. Now let's hit save page. Under small here, let's add in a little code block. So let's go back to those three dots. We'll go over to the code block, insert that. Let's say we're going to do some C++. We'll add in an include statement, call that good. We'll save our code. Now let's go to a code block. Now let's add in a collapsible block. Three dots again. Last icon is collapsible block. Let's edit the label. Important stuff. All right, let's open that up. We can put in some more text down here. Super secret info here. Now let's go save page now. Now on the live page, you get to see everything that we had added. You can see the title up here. You can see the quote, the different heading styles, the picture we inserted, the link to the other article. Let's click on that. Takes you right over to that article. Let's go back. There's the warning, 2 a.m., the information call out, our video. You click on it. Today we're going to bring in the plays. There's our link. Then you'll see our diagram that we created there, our code block, and our important stuff collapsible block. So hopefully you can see the utility in BookStack. It's got lots of features, it's easy to use, and it's hosted on your own server. Now let me show you how to install it. I'm going to jump over to my demo server now. BookStack does require that you have your own database running. I've got an instance of MariaDB running, so we'll be using that. So I'm going to go over to apps. In the search box, I'm going to type in BookStack. Find it in the list, and we'll click install. All right, the container name is fine. The information there is fine. Let's go down to the port here, 6875. I'm going to copy that. Hit Control F, go to the bottom, open show Docker allocations and make sure that number is not used anywhere else and it is clear, so I'm good to go forward. So we know the port is good, so let's jump down to app URL. If you look in the text below, it says it needs a full URL. Since I'm going to keep this internal, I'm just going to use an internal IP address, and it's similar to this format here. So let's type in mine, which is http://10.0.0.11:6875. That is the port number that we had put in up here under the web UI. If you changed yours, you'll need to change it there as well. The database host, this is where our MariaDB server is. This is on my Unraid server as well, so that is 10.0.11. The port number for MariaDB, the default is 3306, what it says here. Mine is set at 3306, so I'll put that in. Database user, I believe mine is root, and the password is my super secret password. And under the DB database, BookStack app, that is fine. That's just the name of the database for the BookStack app. Everything else looks good. Let's just hit apply. Wait for it to install, and we'll click done. And done. Next thing I always do is turn on the auto start. Then normally we'd go over to the container icon, click on it, and click web UI, but you'll notice there is no web UI. So we need to browse right to the IP address that we had put in for it. And if you forgot what that is, in the center under port mappings, you'll find it listed there. So you can just highlight that information, copy it, go open a new tab, paste that information in, and hit enter. And it comes right up. All right, first thing we need to do is log in. The default username is admin@admin.com, and then the default password is password. We'll click login. And yes, I'm sure that password has been compromised, so let's go ahead and hit OK. Never going to save that. There you go. Your BookStack instance is installed. Got no activity, no recent updates. Go over to shelves. There's nothing in there. Books, nothing in there. Now you just need to start adding in your own information. Let's do a couple maintenance things first. Let's go up to settings. We're going to go over to admin in the top right. We're going to click on my account. Here's where you can change the name of the admin or the email address associated with it. You can choose an avatar for your admin account. You can set the preferred language. On the left, under access and security, you can set up the two-factor authentication. You can create API tokens, change password, shortcut preferences, all kinds of just normal configuration stuff. Under notification preferences, you can get notified when a page that you own is being changed, or comments are left on it, or replies are made to comments. Kind of a nice feature. All right, let's go create a new user. Let's go to settings, and then users in the top. We'll go to add new user. We'll give Bob an account, because Bob always gets an account. bob@bob.com. And since this is an internal one, I'm not going to bother with sending an invite email. We'll just create Bob a password. Let's call it super secret password. So we'll call it Bob. Oh, it's going to be 8 characters. And we'll do that. And then scroll down and hit save. Now Bob has an account. If we want to modify Bob, give him admin rights. We can go back into there. We can make him an admin. He can be an editor, public, viewer, but since he's admin, he has access to everything. We'll leave it. All right, let's look at some customization of the UI itself. We'll go up to settings. We'll go to customization on the left. Then you can adjust this stuff to your liking. Let's say the application name. Let's call it DemoStack. Default page editor. We've got WYSIWYG. We've got Markdown. We'll just leave it on the default. You can change the logo for the application icon itself. You can change the default color scheme for light or dark. We'll change it to dark. And scroll down, home page, you can have it default to books or a certain shelf or a specific page or whatever you'd like. I'm going to change this to shelves. We can add in footer links. Not going to worry about that personally. And hit save settings. Now if we click on our demo stack, it should take us back to our new default page, which is our shelves. It says we don't have one, so let's create one real quick. Now we'll go back. There we go. Like I said in the beginning, I was looking for some kind of internal documentation system, and I really think BookStack will work great for that. What will you use BookStack for? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, check out one of these next. But before you go, if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. And I'll see you in the next one.